So the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is just around the corner. They've gone all out with promoting this film, with beautiful posters, trailers, and lots of retro-themed things. They even made a look-alike advertisement with a real-life number that you could text to apply for a job there. But this week, we found something entirely new they created. It's a website called Freddy'sFanzone.com. It is a website supposed to be an in-universe fan site for people who remember Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I guess this means that canonically in the FNAF universe, people remember the place and look back on it fondly. Kind of funny considering how much has, happened there.
Was that the bite of 87?
And how the restaurants are shown as being a bit unpleasant in general. The movie people could have created a more traditional promo website, but instead they went a more quirky route. Something that's more in line with the Super Mario Bros. Plumbing website that dropped ahead of the Super Mario Bros. Movie from earlier this year. And doing a fan site parody makes a ton of sense, as, canonically in present day, the original Freddy's has been shuttered. But surely there's someone out there making their best attempt to archive and preserve the history of that restaurant, right? Anyways, the site is cool, because it is a parody of the real-life website ShowBizPizza.com. If you're new to the channel, or community in general, ShowBizPizza.com was founded in 1999 and has been the #1 hub on the internet for all things related to ShowBiz Pizza, Chuck E. Cheese, and the memories of all animatronic-related restaurants. It was founded by Travis after noticing there was a lack of talk about ShowBiz Pizza on the early internet and wanted to create a place where he could share about the restaurant he loved as a kid. It wasn't the first site, but after a year or two of competing, became the only real ShowBiz and Chuck E. Cheese fan site on the internet. People started submitting their own photos, stories, and memories of the place, and many lifelong fans were able to connect with each other through the early discussion boards. It still continues updating to this day, and is going through some major renovations as 2023 closes out. Now let's see the Freddy's site, and show the similarities in their take on a Freddy's version. The first thing you see when you come online is a foreword about the site, mentioning that it is a tragedy that such a place closed so early. I am guessing that the movie, and by extension the website's canon, is that just this one place was open, rather than the many, many places featured throughout the games. The film appears to be a snapshot of just the first or second game's universe, not quite getting into anything further. Scrolling down, we see some of the animated pixelated GIFs, which remind me of the Retro Pizza Zone animated icons, which live on to this day in the website's Discord server. There is a scan of the real-life Freddy Fazbear's Pizza menu. The Info University on the ShowBizPizza.com website features many scans of old documents and real artifacts, just like the faux Freddy's menu. Digitizing is important in the preservation of any type of media, so it's insightful to know that in the FNAF universe, people are saving history. There's Freddy's Pizza for $6.99 for a large, Bonnie's Family Special, and Chica's Wings. A little dark, but Chuck E. Cheese has done stuff like this. Next is a video, presented on the site as being a security training video. This is very similar to the video archive we have on the site, although it's becoming obsolete and is transitioning over to this YouTube channel. It features old uploads of videos and was created before YouTube with the video embedded into the website. The Freddy's training video appears to be the one made as a teaser for the movie a while back, but even though it features the same actress and similar clips, the footage is a little different. There's some things to note about it. The first thing to note in the video, titled Freddy's Security Training, is that the employee appears to be wearing a ShowBiz-styled vest. The employees at ShowBiz Pizza in the 80s wore these red vests that were part apron and had a black bow tie. She has on a name tag too, which is similar in style to the Chuck E. Cheese and ShowBiz Pizza ones from the time, but actually more closely resembles a 90s ShowBiz logo. On her right side are a bunch of pinback buttons, which probably represent a bunch of promotions Freddy's has had over the years, as real-life restaurants did this as well. She is in a game room with tiled floor, which is a typical late 80s and early 90s design aesthetic. There's a Cyclone game, seen on the right, which wouldn't have existed back then. This game is from the 2000s, with the earliest being about 96 to 97, although it was probably just a continuity error because the place they were filming had one. There's some vintage pinball machines in the background, too. Going forward, we see a ball pit, which is very accurate, and sort of a classic reference to represent Chuck E. Cheese or ShowBiz Pizza. We hear about the cutting-edge animatronics and see this photo. This is very accurate to the endoskeleton seen throughout the franchise, so seeing him come to life is impressive. He isn't super comparable to any real-life animatronics, and people have gone over this before, how the endoskeleton is more to create a scary robot character than something true to life. Although the head shape is reminiscent of a cyberamic. To be introduced to the animatronics, the employee presses a Showtime button on the wall. This was utilized in the show selector, which came after ShowBiz Pizza when the animatronic bands were sold to independent restaurants. Both Chuck E. Cheese and ShowBiz Pizza were on a timer, or played when the birthday party commanded it. The final few seconds of video is some scary clips of the animatronics, shown through the security cameras as the night guard would see them. Going back to the website, there is a scan of a newspaper ad looking to hire a night shift security guard. This isn't either of the ones from the games, as cool as that would be, but this one clearly references the movie. They aren't liable for amputations, though. There is a Snapchat code for Freddy IRL, which brings up a filter. And lastly, at the bottom of the page, there is a visitor counter. This is probably the most similar thing. The ShowBiz Pizza website has had a visitor counter since 1999, and we are very proud of it. It is something that many websites used to have on the early internet. And even though we got rid of splash pages, random photo buttons, and a guest book, we will always have this counter. Overall, the Fanzone website definitely has a visually different aesthetic from ShowBizPizza.com, and that's apparent just by looking at the graphics and colors. But it does feel at least inspired by our fan site. And we weren't the first ones to recognize this connection. The good people of our fandom were the first to discover the Fanzone and point out the similarities. Considering that Freddy's Fanzone is designed to look like something that came out of the late 90s internet, down to the low-res animated GIFs, the old-school buttons, the low-tech graphical attempt at converting the Freddy's logo into a custom one for the website, and of course, that visitor counter. It definitely has all of the ingredients that were present in the early years of ShowBizPizza.com. There's no confirmation that they did indeed use our website as inspiration, but it's hard to overlook the similarities in theme. And since this entire concept was inspired by Chuck E. Cheese and animatronic restaurants from days past, it would stand to reason that maybe this promotional website also took a little real-life lore from the Chuck E. Cheese online fandom of the past 24 years. Will it factor deeper into the film like the Super Mario Bros. Plumbing concept did? We'll have to wait and see. All we know right now is that if Five Nights at Freddy's took some inspiration from our own fan site, we're very flattered. Humbled even. And we'll for sure be tuning in to watch the film on October 27th when it releases.